that Parcells will be a, quote, daily consultant has some questioning the timing 5 days from the beginning of the Dolphins season. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's say good day to Greg Cote, columnist for the Miami Herald, Dave Hyde of the Fort Lauderdale Sun-Sentinel, and Jeff Darlington, who covers the Dolphins for the Miami Herald. It's good to have you all here. So, Greg, where are the Dolphins right now 5 days from opening day with this change being made?
Well, I don't think anyone expected Parcells, with his track record, to be a long-termer here. I mean, the idea that he wasn't the personnel boss for the 4 years of his contract probably isn't a surprise. But there's a sense of leaving the job half done, and there's also a sense of questions in the wake of this decision. Why now? Why now? They're on the eve of the season, and at a time when a team should be marshaling all its focus, all of a sudden they've got this big distraction in their lap, and they're having to talk about Parcells. And I guarantee you, players are wondering among themselves, what's this going to mean? You know, is Jeff Ireland up to the task? What does this mean for the club? And I just think it's strange to have announced it on opening week.
Dave Hyde, your take.
Well, I feel the same way. I think that's fans are confused that here we are on the edge of the season, and the guy who's leading the charge or assembled the players all of a sudden is leaving. And to me, the perplexing part was Parcells has gone garbo here for the last 3 years. He hasn't spoken. But this was a situation where he should have come out and said, here's why I'm doing this. The main thought is that he wants to give Jeff Ireland a chance to stand on his own. But let's face it, as long as Bill's in the building, watching practice, in the golf cart, and Jeff Ireland's in the same seat beside him, this is really Bill's team.
So are you saying, David, that not much is changing?
No, nothing's changed. And in fact, today at practice, there was Bill in the golf cart and Jeff in the golf cart. They didn't even switch seats, which you might have thought they would have done considering their titles have changed.
All right, so Jeff Darlington, we've heard that he's gone garbo, Tuna, in terms of being seen. I tell you, we were trying to pull together in this visual medium what we call B-roll, videotape of Bill observing games, and it was the frames were precious, I will tell you. He has been out of sight and certainly not quoted as much. But you cover this team. They faxed this out. There was no public statement by in the flesh yesterday. What is the team's presentation of this?
Well, if the team is guilty of anything, Bill Parcells and Jeff Ireland I'm talking about, it might be bad public relations, but these guys don't care about that. And I'm going to tell you, from what my sources are telling me, why now, as Greg Cote asks. This apparently is the end of the league year as far as the personnel department is concerned. There's no free agency to worry about. There's no NFL draft to worry about. And the roster is now set with the 53 guys. So they see it, in terms of the personnel department, to be the most appropriate time. I understand the timing does seem peculiar to the fan base, but inside this building, they see it as the most legitimate opportunity.
Greg, do you buy that?
Well, to a point I do, but you know, we're talking about a very secretive franchise from Bill Parcells on down, and so it's very indicative of the franchise that they announced this. Not only the timing is strange, but they announce it with a very cryptic three-word press release, a three-sentence statement. And I think that in and of itself raised more questions than it answered. To me, it's just an unnecessary distraction for the club. I mean, it's national news. That's why we're talking about it. Fans are wondering what it means. Players are wondering. And to have announced that the week of the opening game when other things are going wrong with the club. I mean, this is a team that needs something good to happen, not one more distraction. So I just think it's a timing issue that was so easy to avoid.
Dave, we've heard that when asked, he presents advice to the coaching staff. We understand Bill Parcells not involved in the game planning, also involved in offering advice to players. Any examples you might cite of advice he's offered to players?
Well, he's doing it all the time. He went up to Ricky Williams after the Atlanta preseason game, which wasn't a very good outing by the Dolphins, and he said to Ricky that, I hear you and Ronnie Brown keep saying you want to rush for 1,000 yards each. How about rushing for 20 yards in a game? So, I mean, he has, one of his great things of his career is he's able to get pointed comments to players, and he's done that throughout, and he's a live presence in the locker room.
Jeff, didn't the team make the point yesterday that Bill was inside breaking down tape even as this word was going out to discount the reports that he was disengaging?
Well, he was in there apparently breaking down tape of the Buffalo Bills. That's not unusual for Bill Parcells. He won't be traveling to Buffalo, I wouldn't suspect. Maybe he will, but he never has traveled to any away games in the past during his tenure with the Dolphins. don't expect to see him there, but do expect to see him here on a regular basis. I don't think that Bill Parcells' membership at the local country club is going to increase because of this decision. I think that he will be in this building quite often. I think we'll still see him in that golf cart on the field rather than on the golf course.
Do you think he'll renew that membership for another season?
That's a good question. Whether or not he does stick around as a consultant, that's one that I don't think anybody knows. I don't even know that Bill Parcells himself, judging by his history, knows that question as well. Jeff Ireland, on the other hand, I think he's just going to try to go about this as business as usual.
Well, Wayne Huizenga, Dave Hyde, owned this team when he brought in Bill Parcells, and